Hi, everyone. I am so happy today because I will be interviewing Jennifer Valentin. She is the public relations for VP Records. Hey, Jen, how are you?
Hey Rose, how are you?
Well, first of all, let's take a cheers to life.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you so much for allowing me to interview you. I know you must have been so busy. um,
Yeah.
Preparing, although we are at home, people are working at home as well. And today's interview is going to be very exciting and very knowledgeable for the viewers. Well, for the viewers who don't know you, can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Jennifer Valentin. I come from Boston, Massachusetts. I've been in New York now for about 8 years. And I work at VP Records, which is the world's largest reggae and soca dancehall label. The label has broke artists such as Sean Paul, Beanie Man, uh, Busy Signal, Christopher Martin, Spice, you name it. Almost every single big person in reggae and dancehall has passed through VP Records at some point. So feel very blessed to be their publicity manager. At this point, I just feel blessed to be employed. Yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
So when you name drop those mega names, people looking on are probably saying, my gosh, how did she land a job such as that? Many people would love to know, like, what sort of qualifications, and was it difficult being a female to land a job such as that?
Yes, it was a very long process in terms of getting the job at VP. I started interviewing in January of 2017, and I didn't get the job or start the job till about April 2017. So it was definitely a 4-month process, a lot of interviews, a lot of tests. I was basically put to the test because reggae is such a niche genre,
Mhm.
and they really wanted to make sure that I understood that reggae is something that needs to be put out there, and it's something that is does not get enough recognition, and they wanted to make sure I was up to that challenge of getting the name out there as much as possible. So they definitely put me through the ringer, but I will say it has been all worth it.
Yeah. Well, speaking about challenges, I've seen you in action, meaning I know Jennifer, Jennifer, the friend side, but when you're working and you're in charge behind the scenes, you take charge, and this is where you show your force and your power. And how are you able to switch that and become this powerful person?
Yes, yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just try my best to, I think being a woman is complex, so just being able to balance your working personality with the personality that you put across to your friends and your family is very important. So, yes.
Like, for example, when I came to the Jerk Festival. That
Hmm.
was a huge event. There was a lot of people, a lot of artists as well, and you had to be backstage monitoring and possibly managing. What's your mindset like for a show like that?
Well, every year I have to mentally prepare myself for the Jerk Fest. It's definitely the most busy and widely attended event that we have each year at Roy Wilkins Park in Queens. And we get so many people, and the media section is so crazy. We get almost over 100 media personalities as well as media outlets there, and I have to coordinate the interviews. I have to make sure the artists are comfortable. I have to kind of just navigate the room, make sure that things are organized. I have to make sure that people don't, ask questions that are not worthy of asking the artist. I think after performing, the artists do not want to be, they don't want to feel, put in a corner to answer a lot of questions or to have too many people being thrown at them. So it's important to show that professionalism on VP's side and be able to kind of, put everything together in an organized way. It's a lot of work. It seems like it's a lot of fun,
Yeah.
but a lot of stressful moments. We have interns that help out every year, and they always say, wow, this is like the most working experience I've ever had in my life. They always tell me that.
Yeah.
because it's work. Like, if you go to Jerk Fest to have fun and to just meet celebrities, you're in the wrong part of that. Like the PR, the media tent is very busy, a very busy part of the day.
As you mentioned, it's a lot of work too.
Yes,
Well,
definitely.
we spoke about outside. I want to go indoors a little bit. What's a typical day like for you working at VP Records?
A typical day, I have to start off the day with breakfast. I'm a very big breakfast person. So, usually when I come in, I prepare something to eat. Um, Emails, I'm being a publicist, you have to be on email all day, all night. So even when I'm at home, I'm answering work emails. And when I get to work the next morning, I kind of go into the emails that are a little bit more in depth and that I need to write something or I need to send them something, an attachment or an asset of some sort. So those are the things I handle first thing in the morning. After that, we usually have meetings. We have a lot of team meetings at VP Records. It's important that we communicate properly because there's so many moving parts in a record label. So meetings is an important aspect of my day to make sure that I can communicate to the project managers what I need from them, and they can communicate what they need from me. So these are all important aspects. Another part of my day is simply pitching. I mean, I'm a PR, so I spend a lot of my time in a pitching role where I'm sending emails, I'm calling media outlets, I'm trying to put together things, interviews, tours, that things of that nature. So it's always every day is different, but I would say those three things are kind of the things that stays consistent every day. The meetings, the emails, and the pitching.
Nice. Well, I'm going to let you take a sip of your drink. I know you've been answering my questions. Let's take a
Yeah,
cheers.
thank you. The thing is, quarantine has not allowed me to get my nails done. So I just don't want any zooming in on the nails right now because I have some on, some.
It's totally fine. I mean, it's relatable. I want to ask you a question that I am super excited about radio. I follow VP Records. I follow you. I follow a lot of the VP Records artists. And I know you have a very instrumental part of putting together the artists, connecting the artists to different radio stations, the Breakfast Club, which is huge. I know
Yeah.
you went there quite a few times. Can you tell us the experience of going to the radio stations and meeting Angela Yee, who I know now she calls you by your name? Hey, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, being in this field, it's a dream come true because I listen to Power 105 since I've been in New York. I've always listened to Power, Hot 97, especially Power, and to hear the person I've been listening to every morning for the last 8 years, it's crazy. When I first met her, she was so sweet, so kind. I couldn't believe that that was Angela Yee. I mean, I couldn't believe that she was such a humble person, being that she was on one of the top rated morning shows in the world, if not the top rated morning show. So being able to bring artists such as Dovey Magnum and Christopher Martin and Naomi Cohen over to the Breakfast Club, that was basically some of their biggest opportunities in their career. So being a part of such a monumental part of their career, it was a great monumental part of my career because going there and seeing Charlemagne and DJ Envy and Angela Yee do what they do and having our artists, some of them didn't even know who our artists are, but just from the power of this relationship that I've built with Angela, me and Chelsea Grant, who's the project manager, this relationship that we've built with her has allowed us to bring our artists to such a huge morning show, which is
Yeah,
it's a blessing for them, for us. It's just a win-win in all situations.
it's
So
life
it was
changing
great.
for them. Now, I want to ask you, and I don't know if this is something you would usually do, but for any upcoming artists out there who are wondering, hey, how can I possibly go viral or get the attention that I want, or someone on the flip side to that, someone who's looking for a job in your field or similar in the entertainment industry, what would you tell them? And this is the second to last question. We're coming up to the main question, but just to possibly help someone out there who are looking for a job in the similar field, whether artist or someone who's looking for a job in the PR field.
Yeah, I would say if you're looking for a job in the entertainment industry, to start off interning at any entertainment company that you possibly can. I can't stress how important resumes are and how important it is to show some type of history in your resume that connects to what you're trying to do. It's so important. I interview interns all the time, and they have a strong interest in music, but they don't have any music or entertainment experience, and sometimes it's hard to connect the dots. So at times we have to take a step back in order to move forward. So even if you've worked many years as a administrative assistant at a fashion company or at a retail company, but you have no entertainment experience. Sometimes it's taking a step back and doing an internship for 3 months. And that's usually the minimum, 3 months to just do something in entertainment, getting a job working in marketing at an entertainment company. Some of them pay minimum wage. Some of them might not pay. I'm not sure what the standards are, the labor standards of pay right now, but I know that sometimes you might have to take a pay cut, and it will come back tenfold once you get that experience and you're able to have that real life experience. Sometimes you're on the road as an intern and you meet a manager, an artist manager, and that artist manager has an opportunity for you, which happened to one of my interns. She was a student at NYU, and through my internship, she met one of the artist managers that offered her to go to Spain with them and
Nice.
kind of help be a road manager. So, I mean, these opportunities do happen, and it's the best way, the fastest way to get that experience and get in the doors.
Thank you for that. Now, Jennifer, the last question is, if you can tell us one thing, what would that one thing be?
I would say the one thing I would say in just the way I deal with life is you do not always know what your destiny might be. A lot of times we think that we want this, we want to be, making, seven figures and a big house, and we want to be living the dream by a certain age. And one thing I realize is that everything has to fall into place in order for other things to fall into place. So in your journey, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs. You're going to see, okay, I didn't think I was going to be living here. I didn't think I was going to be doing this. But if you're happy internally and you feel like you're going in the right direction, no one can tell you what your timeline should be. And I think the one thing I would say to anybody is to not be so hard on yourself. Life is a journey. You have to kind of enjoy the ups and downs. Make it your own story. Look at life as if you're writing your own book one day and that you want an interesting book. You want a New York Times bestseller. And in order for that to happen, it's going to have to be some ups and downs. You're going to have a storyline, a plot. It can't just be, oh, I went to college and then boom, I got a great job and then I got married and I got a big house. It doesn't always happen like that. So I do believe, people should not be too hard on themselves. And especially right now with this pandemic that we're going through, a lot of people might feel like they've been set back, that they've fallen into a hard time. Some people lost their jobs, some people are losing their businesses, which I pray for everyone in that situation to get through to the other side. Um, but in all of that, you have to look at the hope on the other side of the tunnel. Maybe it wasn't the right time for your business. What maybe the job you had was keeping you from something else. So you were keeping that job because you were afraid to do something else, and life had to force you out of it, you know? So I think that, life's journey, you just have to kind of be optimistic and keep going, and never get upset about the things that are thrown your way. Always look at the bright side. I think that's more than one thing, but you know what I mean.
That's quite fun. And I'm looking at you and you're surely shining. You're definitely the
Aw.
bright side.
Thank
Thank you, Jen. And please let our viewers know where they can find you on social media.
Yes, sure. So I can be found on Facebook. It's just Jennifer Valentin. I think there's a few Jennifer Valentins, but hopefully you can find me. Um, on Instagram, it's at I am Stiletto Goddess, and that's I am Stiletto Goddess. And that's the same on TikTok, which I just joined recently. And oh yeah, I also have a travel page as well on Instagram called Tropical Jen, and that's all travel related posts, me on the beach, me at fancy hotels and that type of thing. So yeah.
I love it. You're so fancy. Well, thank you so much. Stay safe. And I'm
Yeah.
really excited to upload this video.
Thank you, Rose. It's always great talking to you.
Thank you.
Always great.
Thank you.